Hello, I'm Scott Ugel of the Ugel Law Firm. I don't have to tell you how our world has dramatically changed. Today, many people are suffering financially and often do not know where to turn for help as they have many questions. I have been practicing consumer law for over 35 years and have handled thousands of cases where we help people save their home through loan modifications and or forbearance agreements by going to state Supreme Court, bankruptcy court, or without having to go to court at all. Please give me a call, as every situation is different, and let me tell you how I might be able to help you or someone you love. I'm Scott Ugel of the Ugel Law Firm.
And Tina Traster, good morning.
Good morning, everybody in Rockland County on this rather windy day.
And cold, too. Don't leave out cold.
No, but we've got spring in sight, right? Less than 1 week, and then somehow magically Mother Nature just always seems to know, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So we've been talking a lot about, what segments of commerce are likely to thrive, and we have a window into something. The entertainment segment, particularly geared toward children. We reported last week that a company called Arena STEM, which was sort of a cross between science, education, and entertainment. They had planned to open up a 12,000 square foot facility at the Palisades Center. They had taken a 10-year lease. It was a concept that was focused on science, sports, and creative hobbies, and sort of all rolled into one. It was a pair of Russian partners who actually had done this in Moscow first and had signed a lease for the Palisades. We learned that they have pulled out of that lease. Similarly, there were two other entertainment concepts. One was called Boda Borg, and this was another entertainment, geared toward children or young people from Sweden. And they also have pulled out of their contract, as has another company, which is called Get Air, and they're like a trampoline park or something like that. So what we know is that it is not surprising that that sector right now is trying to figure out where things are going to head in the future, given the pandemic. In contrast, we put a story up last week that talks about the Palisades owner mall talking about adding residential projects across its entire portfolio. The Pyramid, which manages the Palisades Center, has many properties, including their flagship up in Syracuse, the Destiny USA Mall, where they have added residential to the mall. So the question becomes, when asked specifically, are they thinking about doing that at the Palisades Center? They would not give a concrete answer. Just to repeat that it is something that they are doing across their portfolio. But if we look at how would that work, what is involved here in Clarkstown, what we know is, well, let's look at the mall, okay? You've got the completely empty Lord & Taylor building. JCPenney as well is empty. Now they've acquired the access to that 250,000 square feet of space on the fourth floor. Malls across the country are having to reinvent themselves. Many are resorting now, or not resorting, but many are turning now to hotel, conference center, and residential. I think that conference centers are probably in the same category as these kid-oriented entertainment centers, where right now there would be pause to do that sort of a project. But there's a constant conversation everywhere about the need for more residential housing, including what will be a mandate in Clarkstown's new comprehensive plan, which is going to be unveiled, I think, next month. So it is true that if Pyramid were to move forward with any sort of a proposal to do residential at the mall, they would certainly need either a zone change or a variance. And so, that will be a process. But, the bottom line, and we have some of this research published, is that of the 1,500 malls built in America since the 50s, a third of those have closed or have converted into something other than retail. And the prospects of malls surviving just simply as centers for, retail and food are going to be challenged in the future. So, I think that the Palisades Center is in a race for time, and they are going to have to reinvent. And so this will be, of great interest to, I think, everybody in the county to see, what happens, what they set their future sights on. What do you think about? Can you envision how a portion of that mall could become a residential for residential use?
Absolutely. I do.
We talk to Naomi Stryker from Realty Teams every Monday morning, and given the way that houses are moving in this county like hotcakes, yeah.
I could also see that you can make a case for you could have different levels of cost amongst what you put in a mall. And for many people, if you can have low-income housing or higher rates of housing where you could live, work, and play all in the same place, that could be appealing to many people.
Apparently it is. Apparently, we have in the story that we published, we talk about some other projects in Arizona, in New Jersey, in Washington. There was a case where out in where was it? I think was it Seattle or it was out in Washington where they it was in Rhode Island. Okay, yeah, where it was called the Arcade Providence in Rhode Island. It was the nation's oldest indoor shopping mall. It closed in 2008, and a developer turned it into a complex of micro apartments.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think that you have to understand that when you drive by that monolith, that if housing were to be added, obviously, they would really have to, I guess, change the landscaping all around. You couldn't just kind of sort of plop housing in there, given what it looks like.
No, but I could see taking a giant spot, for example, like JCPenney, one of the floors of JCPenney, and you've got like a hotel practically. You've got a main front door, and you've got elevators inside, and if you partition each area, I could see having a series of apartments within JCPenney, and then right outside your door, you've got all the shopping and food and entertainment and parking you could ever want.
Yeah, no, I mean, in theory, combining how we live, work, and play is as old as time, right? And it's always made sense.
Sure.
And the whole suburban trend and sprawl we've moved away from that, but moving back toward it, I think of course that makes sense. You want to keep density where there is density, and protect open space. So, and if there is such a need for housing, which every certainly is being talked about by all the supervisors across the county, and seems to be reflected in comprehensive plans, whether it's Orangetown, Clarkstown. I mean, the issue for housing seems to be really a top need. So how to do it creatively is the question that's on the table. And yeah, I mean, that Lord & Taylor building, I mean, there's no department store that's coming to replace Lord & Taylor.
Not likely.
Right. And there are only so many. I know that the top of the wish list in the county seems to be movie studios. We want movie studios. But again, that's just one commercial entity as opposed to a sort of greater plan.
Right. If you put in housing, you've kind of more building in for a future. You're building in for a more permanent future.
Exactly. That's right. So, so take a look at those stories online. It's pretty interesting to really watch in real time what is going to be a sea change. We're in the middle of a very significant time, I would say.
No doubt, no doubt. It's very challenging. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that and some of the other malls and retail in general, just around, not here in the county, not only here in the county, but around the country.
That's right. Also, if readers are interested this week, South Nyack last week, I think that was last week, filed a lawsuit against the yeshiva that bought the Nyack College. And we have a really good piece laid out where two experts answer questions about South Nyack's lawsuit and what it means in the context of the village's pending dissolution. So we have the attorney Judith Bachman and Ben Seiden from the company that is handling that's helping South Nyack with its transition. That gets into the weeds of all the what ifs and what ifs. So people should take a look at that story. It's a good one.
All right, and in order to access any of these, you can you just go on the web. So it's strictly online, right?
Right. So it's
rcbizjournal.com, and it's available too, and you're updating it every day.
Right, and don't forget, sign up free for your daily e-blast.
You got it, Tina. Thanks.
Have a great